No, I think that's difficult to do, probably impossible to do, because his life became the Civil War. And what happened is he made a judgment to accept the war. Now, people will argue about that. There were 4 or 5, 6 different plans for him. Editors from newspapers in the North said, you know, you don't have to have a war here. You can do this, you can do that. And he chose the war, basically. He said, no, they fire on us, we fire back. And 640,000 people died in that war. And he, of course, was killed right after the war. So he never had a chance to broaden the agenda. He never had a chance to, if you look, he did things like start an education program, which showed that the federal government should work on education, because there's nothing in the Constitution that says you should do education or health care. And so he did things apart from the Civil War, but not many. And so his whole life as a president was the Civil War. Well, what is it that makes him so magically attractive to people? I think his plainness. I think the feeling in a lot of Americans, because a lot of us are like the Cuomos that came here and the Raffas that came here, Matilda's family, people who start with very little, not terribly well educated, no money, and sometimes a whole lot of resistance, and go through a period of being called Dago and WAP and greaseball, etc. And everybody took their turns at that in our series of immigrations. And so we're a people who, you know, appreciate it when we see somebody rise up from poverty, et cetera, and he certainly did that. And we like the fact that he did it on his own. And he, like Obama, was gifted in a way that only friends of God are gifted. He spoke and wrote like an angel. Now, his voice was supposed to be very high, which is interesting because he was, 6'4.5". So his writings are superb. He lost and lost and lost and then won. So he's a great American tale. But if you wanted to take it issue by issue, it's not easy to make him the best president ever, judged by the issues, because the Civil War eclipses everything else that he did. And he was only there for the 4 years.